Hi guys, welcome to this video. I'm really excited about this video, mainly because I think picking stocks is probably the one pain in the ass that a lot of inexperienced and new traders really struggle with. I think once you get the hang of it and once you start having a bit more success, you'd find that it's actually quite a lot of fun. So let's dig right into it. I think there's a couple of things we need to look out for when we start talking about picking stocks. And I think the biggest one is probably what's called analysis paralysis. It's when you overanalyze a stock. The problem with that is if you start overanalyzing things, it makes you doubt your decisions. So it's something to be aware of. But in saying that, you gotta do your homework. And once you've done that, you just want to do it, because in the end you will lose all of the trades you don't make. So it's something you got to get over. You can't trade on fear. So it's important to keep these ideas in mind. Now, let's look at what I call the art of picking stocks. It's, if you can even call it an art, because I think it really is a skill, but it's a skill that needs to be fine-tuned. So I think there's three ingredients really to picking profitable stocks. So the first one is what we need to do is we need to find stock ideas. We need to find stocks that are worth a closer look. Now, out of all the thousands of stocks that are being traded every day, we gotta sift through that somehow and find the one that we're gonna trade. So it can be a bit of a daunting task, but I'm going to show you some easy ways of doing that. Then once we've found something that looks interesting, we need to know when to buy it, and then obviously we need to know when to sell it. So when those three ideas, those three ingredients are present, and when you do it right, you make money. Simple as that. If you make a mistake in any of those three, you're likely to lose money. So let's look at them one by one. Firstly, let's look at finding stock ideas. So what we want to do is we want to find individual stocks that are worth a closer look. So the easiest way is probably to find ideas in the news. I mean, world news has a huge impact on the stock markets. At the moment, I was just watching a news insert on CNN on swine flu, and one of the pharmaceutical companies that just developed coincidentally developed a vaccine, and I mean overnight the stock price shot up by 4 or 5 points, just because this company came up, conveniently at the right time, came up with this miracle cure. And in reality, it's probably a vaccine that they've had in a storeroom somewhere anyway. So all the world governments are buying this vaccine from them now, which is billions of dollars worth of contract. So obviously that has a huge impact on the stock price. So you got to keep your eyes open. You got to keep your mind open, and you got to start looking at the world, in a slightly different way. Look at news in a different way. And you'd come up with tons of ideas. And keep an eye out on financial channels. Bloomberg's great, and Yahoo Finance gets updated like every 30 seconds. So there's no shortage of ideas. You got to be willing to look at quite a few of them. You can't look at 5 stocks and expect to find $1,000 trades. You got to be prepared to look at a lot of them. So just the news, and in particular what you want to look out for in the news, you want to look out for announcements, you want to look out for mergers, acquisitions, product announcements, anything really that can affect the perceived value of a company. To give you another example, whenever Apple announces a new product, like when Apple announces the new iPhone, for instance, it immediately impacts the stock price. It changes the perceived value of that company. So, you gotta keep your eyes open, and these things really, the second they happen, get in on it. You gotta act fast, and news really does impact the stock market hugely. So that's an easy way to find stock ideas. The second one, which is probably my favorite, and just in the sense of I prefer to look at charts, and I prefer to see a picture of a stock. It just helps me make decisions quicker. So I mean, it depends on your personality as well, but you got to use both. But stock charts is one of my favorites. So in some of the previous videos, I've showed you some ways to use stock charts. It's a free website, so if you go over to stockcharts.com, and if you click on the free chart button, and then if you go to stock scans, now on this page there's just so much information, but basically it sorts out stocks on a daily basis based on technical indicators, on different patterns. So I mean, obviously each and every one of these it's got a book on its own in terms of what the indicator says. But just if you keep it simple, as I tend to do, just look at some of these technical indicators. If you look at stocks that are actually moving, because that's what in momentum trading we're looking for, something that's got movement. Because if a stock is too slow, if it changes over a period of 10 years, we're not interested in it. We want to find stuff that moves quickly. So I like to look at these strong volume gainers and strong volume decliners, because that's an easy indication that the stock's being traded. Those are my two favorites to look at. But in saying that, you can look at all of these, because all of them have some merit, and it's as simple as just look at a stock that's trading at its 52-week high, and there's tons of them. And you can, if you want, you can look at all these figures. I just tend to go straight into the graph and look at the graph. Bang, there you go. See, I mean, this is a really good stock. I mean, that's going up. So it's easy to get ideas. It takes half an hour to look at 10 of these, and if you have to print it out, take a look at it. If it looks okay, print it out. Keep it on the side, and you can have a look at it later on and look at it more closely. So that's it for stock charts. It's a great tool, and it's a great way of finding stock ideas. So basically, we just want to find ideas that's worth a second look, and you're sort of in this screening stage of it. You want to look at anything that looks like it's got profit potential. Then the next, probably the most difficult step is knowing when to buy it. The problem is, if you buy too late, you'll miss the boat. But if you buy too soon, your money might be tied up for too long. So it's all about timing, and it's all about knowing exactly when to do it. So the only way we can really do it, because this is not about looking into a crystal ball and predicting the future. It's about being scientific about it. We're looking at indicators